Today on the show, we're going to discuss a place called the Glass Box in Del Mar Heights, San Diego. I recently had a lunch there that was so good. The cuts of fish in the sashimi plate that I bought were incredible. So check it out. If you like what you hear, do us a favor, like, subscribe, and follow. Really appreciate it. So I think we found it. I think we found a sushi bar that is... Well, I have to visit it again.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I need to visit it again. But from the first indications, it's everything that I like in a sushi bar.
Yes. It's got almost everything.
Wait, are you talking about the certain dishes?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
a lot of places, they have to step it up. There's another level.
Yeah. Well, it's in an area I don't often go.
Mm-hmm.
Del Mar Highlands. And I love the area. A lot of condos.
Yeah.
Not many homes.
Businesses and condos.
Yeah. And it's got all the stuff you want. Shopping, restaurants, movie theater. It's in a great area by the beach. Not far from the beach.
Not far, yeah.
I could live there, I think. If a push comes to shove.
Problem is,
You don't like to be shoved
I don't like to be
or pushed.
in a
No, yeah, I know.
sardine box in a condo
I
situation.
I don't think that's really what's over there. I think that you have a condo, which you have a neighbor, right? You may share a wall with somebody.
Oh, you definitely do.
But I don't think it's a sardine box. I think it's different from what you have right now. What you have right now is
I have the ocean, and that's the sardine box.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that what you have right now is basically, no neighbors. I mean, the neighbor is,
Far, yeah.
50 yards from you, maybe about that.
Mm-hmm.
So you love that ability to, you don't see anybody. I mean, during the COVID, it was so funny because we stayed in the house you guys stayed here for a month. I mean, didn't even go out. You didn't have to. I ran interference. I went out
true.
Shopping and whatever.
Shopping. Mm-hmm.
I was the only one not afraid of the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's weird.
Because you don't care about that stuff. Anyway.
But the Highlands.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Absolutely. I think I'd like to have a house. And you know what? As a matter of fact, when I go to like that area, or go to Carlsbad or Encinitas, whatever, same thing. It's one step away from being in a condo. It's just that your neighbor's not a wall away. They're 8 feet away.
That's like living back where we used to.
Yeah.
That's like living in, we were in Culver City. So for us, it's about that.
And there's some places here in town that they're 4 feet away. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I do like the distance. I'm a fan. Mm-hmm. But the Highlands is so robust. So many great things in there. And
it's all condensed into a very small area. So it makes it really convenient.
Yeah.
And like going to this place.
Yeah.
You can stay inside this one little area and have your coffee, dessert, your food, your drinks,
all of it.
A movie.
Shopping.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what the name. I can't remember the name of the place. What's the name of the area? The Sky Deck? Or
the name of the place. It's the Skybox.
Skybox. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Skybox.
Sky Deck? You think it's Sky?
I don't know.
I thought it was Skybox.
A Skybox. I don't know.
I'll find out right now.
Yeah. But it's in the that mall, that open mall across from where the Cinepolis Theater.
It's in the same park.
Is it the same one?
It's in the same park.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of North.
Yeah.
And all that over on the other side.
The Smash.
Yeah.
Burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Skybox.
Skybox. Okay.
Skybox Del Mar.
Okay. It's not really Del Mar, is it though?
Like you said, they call it Del Mar Highlands.
Sure.
It's not.
Okay, if that's Del Mar, then there's Del Mar and there's Del Mar. There's not.
Right.
That's not. If you say you live there, you're like,
Oh wait, now this one says Sky Deck. Okay.
Are you funning?
I'm confused.
I had it right then, didn't I?
I think you.
No.
I think you did.
Well, you
Yeah.
did
Let me. See.
I don't.
Website. How about that?
I'm just remembering that, like
Sky Deck.
walking up to the building, and it's above Jimbo's.
Yeah.
It's above Jimbo's. It's called the Sky Deck, and I remember seeing the big placard outside there.
I'm seeing it now. Sky Deck at Del Mar Highlands. That's what it's called.
But the best part about it is that again, you got Jimbo's. You can go shopping.
It's like we said. You have literally everything. You can go shopping for clothes, shopping for food.
There's a bank there. There's
to work out, Pilates.
Is there a gym?
Yeah, it's not gym.
Like
actually, there
Pilates.
probably is a gym, but there's a Pilates studio, a yoga studio. There's boutiques. There's
it's a whole day.
The what do you call it? The Sinopolis, the Sky Deck.
I got to be honest. That's even better than what I remember Fox Hills Mall in LA.
Dude, how could you even compare?
I'm just saying, like when I was a boy, that was both shopping, food, and entertainment. Like you'd go to Orange Julius.
That's not entertainment.
Yeah,
they
had an arcade, a big arcade. Yeah, up on the second level near Broadway.
Oh.
They had the stairwell in the middle, that orange glass stairwell. You just go chasing people up and down the stairs.
It's like we would just go use it as a jungle gym.
Yeah, well, that's exactly. That's exactly what it was. And
they don't have that anymore.
They don't. But I'm saying to you that was like that's where we went. That was like the center of the universe. Like you go there and you go buy some pants, go to Broadway Company and buy a blender.
Yeah.
You go play a video arcade game. You go get an Orange Julius, right? You go buy iMagnin or store or Oak Tree. Remember or
those old ones, right? Yeah. Contempo Casuals.
Yeah, I mean the $5 store.
No, they don't have that.
I don't know. Okay, well they had
that didn't exist then.
The brass rail.
No, that's the Nordstrom
thing. That's the West Side Pavilion.
Come on.
I'm conflating two malls here.
Come on. Anyway.
But this is like the malls of my youth, but on 10 power.
Well, wow. Okay. I don't see it like that, but all right. I just look at this as a big, because everything's outdoors, everything's outside. You're not in a mall.
Okay. All right, fine. So it's Century City.
It's
Century City.
It's just a shopping center.
God, it's a good shopping center. It's a good shopping center. I was just thinking, we didn't even take advantage of it the way that we could have. You know what I mean? Like you could very easily drop $1,000 there in a day. Go buy a pair of shoes.
Are you kidding? You could drop way more than that.
A couple $1,000, just easy. And just walking down the thing, a couple grand you could drop. Have a great sushi. I'm thinking about it, and I'm wondering if I couldn't spend the whole day there in that vicinity. I don't mean at that particular one, but the mall across the street to add to it. Mm-hmm. So honestly, you could probably find a breakfast spot. Okay. You probably could.
Used to have Champagne Baker. I don't know if it's still there.
I don't know. You probably could take your running shoes. Okay. And go for a jog down.
Listen, you don't even have to go for a jog that far because there's a park nearby and it has tennis courts. So you could go play tennis right there.
Yeah.
And then,
you could, honestly, if you had a job right there, let's say you worked at one of those.
I did. That's how I know that place.
Where did you have a job there?
Peregrine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We went there. That's
see,
how we found Champagne Bakery.
I think we found our next place to live.
Hell no.
I'm just saying like this. Think of it this way. If you had a job in one of those office buildings over there, selling insurance or whatever, whatever people do, right? You have that. And then you can go play tennis at the park, play basketball, go for a jog. You could go grab a bite to eat at the mall there, right? They go go for shopping, go grab your Jimbos and your fresh, foods or whatever, and then drop back at the house, grab a shower, go to the gym if you want to do, and then schedule a movie later, meet some friends for cocktails at the movie.
No, you can also meet them for cocktails at the Sky Deck.
Any number of places there you could.
True.
Wow. That to me is like an adult Disneyland.
Okay. I'll give it to you.
Wow. See?
Wouldn't want to live in the condos, but yeah, I'll give it to you.
Okay, so then, you got to get rich. Okay? And then we can buy a fancy dance house over there. And
let's live in Del Mar, babe.
Well, no. Del Mar's way too Gucci. Look, you think a normal house is $1 million a day? Imagine one of those houses. $2 million, $3 million, whatever you want to spend.
At least.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what kind of money you're making, but
it's you, babe. You're gonna make millions.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
No pressure.
Yeah, I don't know. No pressure. I mean, I'll start selling some swag.
Yeah.
Start selling some T-shirts. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. But getting back to the Sky Deck.
Amazing. I'm gonna say that right now. Amazing. I was kids. We've been dorking around going to Vista and Oceanside and Escondido and things like that, or Rancho Bernardo, looking for places to eat and whatever, and nice restaurants and whatever. Holy smokes! They have literally cornered the market on Gucci in one area, one little mall area that has this amazing spot. I mean, okay, so if you haven't heard the background on our sushi delights, we love sushi like we love breathing. Okay, I mean, I think sushi is second to breathing almost, because I've had some amazing sushi in my life, and it has been some of the greatest joys of my life. The birth of my children, and sushi. It's like right in there. Okay. And I'll just say Keizo's gone, right? Keizo in Culver City.
Yeah, our
20-year love affair with them.
Mm-hmm.
He retired, Keizo retired.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, that was devastating.
Yeah. But in all fairness, Keizo was, I think he was a little tired.
Okay. I agree with that.
I think he needed to retire. I think it was time,
Mm-hmm.
because anyways. So we'd been going. You go to Nobu every year for the tennis match. You take your child and go and have a lovely time eating eating great sushi, and then having the what is it called?
What is it called?
The lychee nut drink and the lemon and whatever else.
That.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So lychee. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Is that how you
offend anybody? I don't know. Well.
Anyway, yes, he loves that drink. It's non-alcoholic. You can have a wonderful, wonderful drink, but it's so expensive.
How much is a drink? Just give me one of those at the old Nobu.
It's like at least $10, $11, but it's
and you have how many when you go? How many does he have?
He has at least 2. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a couple $20.
Yeah, it's like having a cocktail for I mean,
yeah, but you get 2 of them. You get 2 of them, and you guys make it out like it's just heaven sent.
It is, because when we went to I introduced you and our other son to that drink when we went to the other Nobu.
I mean, I don't remember tasting it that honestly.
Really?
I remember, like I'll be honest with you. When we went to the Bahamas, I didn't want to be in that restaurant. I didn't. I feel like when you go to a place like that, the food, as we determined, by the way, the food at the resort is never. In Nobu's case, it's still great no matter where you go.
Good, yeah.
But it's a high price, and everything you eat's $20 or more, and you're like, I got to be real conservative here, unless you want your bill to be $500.
Listen,
you got to be real
conservative.
On
vacation, you go to a place like Atlantis, you got it. We already knew you're going in with the mindset.
No,
it's going to be.
I hear you, but there's expensive and then there's expensive. You know what I mean? Like 4 people having just your basic fare $500. It turns me off.
I understand. Of course.
So when we went to the cricket club over there, and it was nothing like the price wise, and
like
the food,
$100
and
the
food was.
Phenomenal.
I still remember it. I still remember the sensation of it. It was off the charts, delicious. Every bite of it was scrumptious.
We were out just this last weekend, and I was talking to the guy.
Lady, yeah.
The guy. Talking to Ian.
Yeah.
I remembered his name.
Ian Miller.
And I couldn't remember what the
we
dish
make the
I had.
We make the lamb. Sorry.
Yeah, but I couldn't remember the dish I had.
Yeah.
I just remembered
what was it.
It was mutton curry.
Oh yeah.
It was so good.
And the conch fish, the fried conch fish. Yeah, it was on.
Somebody had it.
That was the best part about the cricket club in Nassau. The whomever runs it, the lady that runs it, is an angel. Mm-hmm. Okay, we told her that we were open to anything, that we wanted to try it all. We couldn't make up our mind, and she literally gave all of us bites of it all, like the whole.
We tried at least we had 4 different
6.
dishes, and then we had extra stuff like
She
you
just
said.
kept throwing stuff at us, and all of it was the perfect temperature, the perfect flavor, salted, seasoned perfectly. The fry on the fish was amazing.
Only Luca, he ordered something real basic. He's like, I just want this basic whatever was off on the menu.
Yeah, but
he regretted it.
It was chicken fingers or something,
no,
right?
It wasn't.
It was something ridiculous.
It was something just like some
some
fish.
pedestrian thing.
Yeah, simple fish of some sort. And he was like, well, it's just basic.
Well,
like,
when you're eating a platter of delightful treats and then you eat that, you're like, okay, well, it didn't stand up to the rest of that.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to fault them then.
No. I fault my son that one.
I mean, if you are
he was afraid to venture out and try something different, so he went with something really basic.
I get it. And then he says he wants to be a world traveler. I'm like, whatever. But the thing about it was that the food at the resort was so commercial and pedestrian compared to the local fare.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the food at the resort was blah. Except for Nobu. That was it.
Well, yeah. But the rest of it, I mean, we went to the cricket club. It just set the mark for what you can expect to get. And everybody you spoke to. And some people would almost be a little hush-hush about it. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, you went to the cricket club? Yeah, that's great. Yeah, but then they're like,
because they don't want their business being taken away, right?
They don't want to have it be crowded. And on top of that too, it was a locals place. It was definitely locals. Like you weren't exactly like, hey, come on in. It was like, shh, don't tell anybody. It was like that. It was like that movie, The Island, where they go there and they're just like, don't tell anybody. If you leave, you can't come back because don't tell anybody. Yeah, that's kind of what it was. So as much as I love talking about what I do, again, I fear that every time I open my mouth, it's like I'm going to tell 2 people and then they'll tell 2 people and so on and so on. That's what's going to happen. I go there next time, I can't get a chair. That's what I'm always afraid of.
I wouldn't be afraid of that.
I'm not saying that I have this massive influence or whatever, but I'm simply saying that, boy, you could plant the seed that just could, build the tree,
I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't be afraid. I say that because it's been there for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the restaurants within the Sky Deck have changed a lot. I do know that for certain, there's one spot that's open, right? It wasn't there. There was something there when I went the first time, and so this one's gone. Yeah. So there might be, turnover stuff, but the other ones that were on the right side, the Italian joint, the other couple bars that were right there, and the Glass Box, that was still there.
Right.
So, yeah, there's probably changes.
So here's the thing. We've tried lots of sushi all over San Diego. Well, especially in North County. Let's be real. Ugh. Oh, come on. Don't do that. You can't. Okay. You can't do that now. See, I mean, because there's places like Nori Sushi in Escondido.
Oh, that's true.
I'm not saying it's Keizo or Nobu, but what they do well. Okay, and it's fun. The people are nice. It's local. It's easy to get to. Yeah. The salmon skin hand roll is next level, and maybe I hope it's not just for me that way, but it's chock full of delicious salmon skin. Yeah. It's done so well. Plus, it's they have kikusui. It's right there. They have a beer. You can go to Trader Joe's and just run over there and have a little roll. It's lovely. Okay, now, but in the grand scheme of sushi, it's a locals joint. It's a local place. You're
not going to get anything super
califragilistic
out of the ordinary, super unique.
You're not going to get like rare dishes or rare fish. Things like that, something really special. Yeah. But it's, like I said, if you're just running off to the market, you go in a major market for a thing, you got a Pilates class, you have a cigar, you're going to run for a coffee. Oh, it's sushi, boom. Lovely. Mm. Now, Keizo was special to us because we'd been there, we were younger, 34 or so before the kids or about the kids. And we'd go there with the family. It was a pretty place. It had great service, great people. It was fun. It was great. I loved going there.
And they had incredible
cuts.
Things. No, but it was unique. It was different. You had special things. The chef was not only a sushi trained chef,
Yeah.
But he was also a trained French saucier.
Yeah, yeah.
So
great sauces.
you're going to have
unique things.
Things. And you had like something new, something special. You would get these great,
rare cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd bring in.
Or he's like, oh, I have this new fish or whatever it may be. And, he would always introduce us to something new.
And supposedly he brought fish in from overseas, from Japan.
That's what I'm saying. He would always bring something new in, whether those little baby squids, whether it was.
Oh, God, don't talk about the baby squids, man.
I know.
Don't talk about them. I need them in my life.
Fresh.
I'm sorry to say that. It's such an awful thing to have a little box of baby squids that are so delightfully delicious. But it's so good. Man.
So that's the kind of stuff I still have not found in San Diego.
Yeah, me neither.
Haven't found it. I can't find anybody.
Not even here.
No, and I can't find anybody that sells ankimo, fresh.
Yeah.
Ankimo.
Yeah, we need to find that. Now, I talked to a friend of mine before we get started on this place, the Glass Box, in Sky Deck. Yeah. I want to talk about a friend of mine said, my favorite spot's Cato in Encinitas. Cato. And I looked at the pictures, look good.
Yeah.
I want to try it.
Okay.
But, okay. So up to now, though, the Sky Deck and the surrounding area is lovely. And we went to this spot. Now, how'd you find this?
A work
thing. I'd never been. And I'm a big fan, you know me. If you've heard me before, you know what I'm about. I like it all. I like a lovely location. I like great service. I like people who are engaged in figuring out what you want to eat. They listen to what you say, and they bring you something special. I'm just big on it. If you do that for me, you're a 10. If you are you drop a ball or two here and there, service is weak or food's not so good or whatever, then you got problems. But they hit the mark this time. Okay. Can't speak for every time. I don't know what's going to happen for you next time when you go, but I can tell you this time it's just glorious. You get up the stairs, the escalator, and you end up in this Sky Deck. You walk into this multi-concept deck area that's got, a central bar. They have various bars around the perimeter. I think there's a ramen spot as well over there. They have, and right at the center of this is Glass Box. The Glass Box is visually stunning because it isn't.
Wait, it's not at the center. It's at the very back.
The back center of the wall there. I'm sorry. The back of the building, back of this area, but it's in the center of the wall. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like the crown jewel in the back of the place. You get in there and it is what it says. It's just 3 walls of glass, and at the very back behind the sushi bar is this copper, like kind of a wall at the top. Half of the wall's copper above the kitchen.
Goes like that.
Yeah. It's just nice to look at. It's clean. It almost epitomizes like the Japanese concept of, visual, of seeing something that is pleasing to the eye, You're in this glass box. You feel special because you're in the glass box.
I also like the fact that it cancels out some of the noise.
Yeah.
So you don't have to hear all the noise of the dining area, of the big open area.
For sure.
So that to me, I almost thought, I'm like, okay, that's why they named it that, or is that the purpose? What was the
that could be it. That could be. On the other hand, though, we know we were not in there with anybody else but us, so that could also.
No, there was 2 people on the other side.
But that could also lock in the sound if there was 30 people in there, or 20.
That's the other thing. It's not that big, right? It's only
but you know what I'm saying. 6, you know what I'm saying, though.
Maybe 12 seats.
Okay, so no, there was probably.
It's like 4 next to us, 4 on that side, 4 on that side.
Okay, but figure out, have it be full.
Yeah.
All conversations and clinging and clanging and talking and whatever, and that could be, I don't know. But we'll find out. Mm-hmm. But we're going to find that out, and we'll report because I want to go right now. So we get in there. It was a part of the day when there wasn't any people but us and one other couple, as you'd mentioned, and we run into Joel, sushi chef.
One of the chefs, yes.
Well, yeah, one of them. And this guy he did the job. I mean, Okay, so every time I go to a sushi bar, I always order one thing right off the bat. Like, I'm almost like the Dave Portnoy of sushi. You know what I mean?
Of that particular thing.
Of this one thing. I don't go in and order a slice of pie, but I order a spicy tuna roll. That's what I order at every sushi bar right off the bat. Okay? Because that to me is something that it's a lot like what I also ordered. But see, I think in what I also ordered, which is the sashimi plate, what you ordered, in fact, it's hard to do, but easy to do in my mind. Okay. Because what you have is you have to cut that fish right. You have to then gently season it, whether it be a little soy sauce or wasabi or whatever you're going to do, or a ponzu. And then you have to leave it alone, right? They don't even serve it with rice. I oftentimes have asked for rice because I need that filling. I got these little thin cuts of fish, usually thin, which they weren't here. These things were probably half an inch. No. Yeah, they were thick. They were thick.
Honey, I don't want to argue with you, but
I got pictures.
No more than 1/4 of an inch, because that's what you want. You do not want it to be too thick. You want it to be just
let's see how
right.
An inch is that big.
Yeah,
so this is,
it was a quarter.
I think it was like
inch.
that. I have pictures. Sorry, I have pictures. But in any case, I didn't get out my little mic. My mic, what do they call that to measure? I didn't get it out, but I'm telling you, the micrometer. I didn't get my micrometer out to check it. Next time I will take it to satisfy your thing here. And if it's 1/4 of an inch, it's 1/4 of an inch. But I'll tell you right now, I got pictures that look like they were, what is it, a third or I don't know. As I said, I'm not going to argue with you.
Okay.
But I'm just.
But they were definitely beautiful, cut. Good size.
Good
perfect.
Golly. They were so good because, okay, like I said before, when I go to other sushi bars, I've ordered sashimi and I've had to have rice to fill in the blanks because I'm going to be full. I'm going to need more food, filling for the stomach, because the little cuts of fish, they're not going to get it done. So I fill in with the rice. I put like wasabi in there. I put like soy sauce in the rice, and then I eat it together, and it fills me up. I don't know what I was looking at. I've got pictures that have how many cuts of fish were on there? How many different types of fish were on there? 8, 9?
6.
I think there were more.
It was.
Let's say 7.
2 salmons.
Okay.
1 tuna. 7, 2.
Sure, there wasn't fatty. Wasn't fatty tuna on there?
Yeah, there was fatty tuna.
So then there was.
So there was 2 tunas.
2 tunas.
Okay, so, and then there was albacore, and then there was snapper.
I think it was 8 or 9. Okay, it doesn't matter.
You have a picture.
There was
it couldn't have been more than 6 or 7. That's my.
There was a lot of different types of fish.
Mm-hmm.
They were all cut appropriately so that when I put it in my mouth as one bite, it just filled my mouth full of flavor, of meaty creaminess and all that. It was all it filled my mouth. It wasn't just like a little slight piece of fish that I just laid there. You knew it was fish, but it wasn't like, oh, this is such a great abundant bite. It was just, it was good.
4, 5, 6, 7. 7.
Okay, 7. I think I said 7. I did that before I said 7. You want to rewind it? Okay. But I just see. I've not been to Japan. I don't know. I only have familiarity with what I've had here. And to me, that was the best sashimi I've ever had. And I don't know.
Wait a minute. Ever.
I'm talking about the fish quality. I'm talking about the treatment of the fish, the subtle, gentle. Look, don't get me wrong. I didn't eat a lot of sashimi at Keizo. Didn't. We ate all kinds of rolls and cuts and things like that. Not a lot of sashimi. You had look when we'd go there to Keizo, we would start off with the edamame, and then we'd have.
No, we didn't.
Oh, we would. Are you sure? Possibly. I know I had edamame there.
Maybe once when we first went there, but
we'd have gyoza. We'd have the.
I had 3 things I start with. Okay. I started with ankimo, I started with live scallops, and I started with octopus carpaccio. That was it. I didn't have any.
I would have the brown rice, spicy tuna. Mm-hmm. I would have all the stuff that you've said. I'd have a spicy tuna roll.
On occasion, you used to have a popcorn shrimp.
Oh my God. I forgot about that. Amazing. Mm-hmm. Then the baby shrimps, the baby squids, rather. We'd have anything that he was popping with.
I remember, like whenever you first started your meal, you would get a bite to just get you started. They had prepared these things, whatever it would be. Whether it was like he had a fish cake of some sort, he had all these things. Whether it be a little cucumber salad, something. There was always a bite to get you.
Or like you mentioned, like in a conversation I heard you talk about recently, we'd have the mushrooms.
That's the live scallops with mushrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh God. Okay. But as far as sashimi is concerned, I never ate a lot of it at Keizo. I don't even recall ever, because we've just mentioned all those things.
Yeah. Well, we did, but Keizo would give us a lot of little pieces. And
I'm not saying that. But I'm saying like a sitting down and ordering a sashimi plate as we've done.
I think it was different then, because what we would do is we would just tell Keizo, just give us whatever. And so it would just come piece by piece, But
in lieu of that, right, because I wasn't able to find a sushi situation as I'd found at Keizo in San Diego. I'd not found it.
No.
So I would go to a sushi restaurant and I'd order the sashimi plate.
Right.
Because I wanted to have those cuts of fish, dab them in soy sauce.
And you wanted quality fish because at least with Keizo, maybe you didn't have necessarily, a sashimi plate, but you had quality cuts when he would give you the toro and whatever it is that you like, even salmon belly, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. He would give you quality fish. So it was really hard to find that here.
Every time you make a declaration, not you, but every time you make a declaration about, its quality, people always say, well, how do you know how do you know what quality is? And you know what you know, right?
Well, it's true. Only based off of how many places you've been.
Yeah. And we've been to quite a few. And I'll say it like this. I go to a sushi spot and I order a sashimi, and it's usually these little thin, almost translucent, thin cuts. It's almost like you look at it and you go, come on, man.
Yeah, I guess I need a brew. Oh, there's one right there.
Yeah,
I'll tell you how big that thing was.
I don't want to do this right now. Don't do that.
No, no.
They're usually paper thin.
I'm gonna say maybe you were totally right. Let's see. Go ahead.
There's usually paper thin. In some cases, you feel like you're being ripped off. You know what I mean? Like they give you the cuts, but they're so thin, and you're like, I'm still hungry.
It looks pretty. The presentation is beautiful.
It can.
Yeah,
it can.
But you're right. It's not.
It's not like impressive.
No.
When this plate came to the table or to the bar, they were just lovely. It looked to me, honestly, like the guy was bringing me a plate of hard candies from Willy Wonka's factory. Every one of the pieces of fish was like, you see, they say, if you look at the eyes of a fish, when you buy a fish and the eyes are not clear and whatever, it's not fresh. You go to a place and it doesn't pop at you. It doesn't moon you. It was beautiful on the plate. And that just prepped me knowing that every cut was going to be just as it should be.
Yeah.
It's going to taste like the open ocean, Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
And that's exactly what it was. It was every cut of fish was like, it was perfection. There was not one thing on the plate that I could say, I wish this was better.
Yeah.
I wish this was tastier. This one's good, but this one's not. They were all delicious.
Yeah. I agree. And they had one in there, which I was like, really? That's weird. Which was the smoked salmon. It was that cut of that smoked salmon. I'm looking at it with that dollop of some sort of cream, some whatever with the fish eggs. It was delicious.
And the thing about it is, I'm sitting there eating them, right? And my mind is saying, "Where's your rice?" And in fact, I ordered a little bowl of rice, thinking I was going to need it. But I kept, you have that one, I'll have that one. Mm-hmm. Right? And so we're sitting there eating. And then I realized I didn't need the rice. Every bite of fish was so full. Your mouth was full and you have all that flavor and it's creamy and succulent and soft and smooth. And yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great.
I hear you. As far as the quality of the fish, fantastic. We didn't have, I think that, what else do we have? I'm trying to think. Besides the spicy tuna,
right?
Besides the salmon skin roll and this, I don't think we had anything.
Let me speak about the spicy tuna roll. Okay, and this is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak, because my first experience with a spicy tuna roll was at a place that I always go back to. I don't mean physically, but in my mind. The very first spicy tuna roll I ever had was at a place in West LA. And it was at a place that was on Gateway. And I don't remember the guy. I think it might have been called Gary's. Or was it Gary?
No, his name is Harry.
Harry. It was a spot right there on the corner of Gateway and Barrington in LA. If I recall correctly, that was the first time. And it was so amazing, the flavor. Okay. It has something to do also with the preparation and the temperature. I never really gave it the credit until later on in life that the temperature is a part of it.
I was going to say, I think I've always thought that sometimes when I go into these places and the temperature's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah,
but
no.
This one.
But if the temperature's way off, let's say it's too hot, or it's too cold, as it was in this case, you notice it right off the bat.
Yeah.
And then I started, eating more sushi and started realizing when you go to like a omakase or like Jiro Love Sushi, he makes the sushi for you, each piece, and then hands it to you while you enjoy it. And the theory behind that was that when they press the fish and the rice together in their hand, the temperature of their hand is warming that piece of sushi, and you're getting a kind of a temperature that's almost your body temperature. And I never really gave it as much consideration until later. But thinking back, that spicy tuna roll that I first had wasn't cold and it wasn't hot. It was this very nice warm temperature that I can only think of as maybe,
It's room temperature. It's something that's somewhat room temperature.
Yeah.
It could be touch colder than room temperature, but you don't want it to be more than that.
Yeah.
And in this instance, that was immediately was the first thing that came to me, was like, it's too cold.
I saw the fish sitting in front of us in the chiller or the little fridge right there, the glass window. Mm-hmm. I saw the mixture of tuna there. And I did realize that the cooler, it looked a little chilly in there.
Yeah. And we talked to Joel, and Joel says the owner is meticulous about keeping things, at the right temperature.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to have anybody get sick or anything like that.
Absolutely not. No. But, and I'm not suggesting that they should.
No.
But when I did eat the spicy tuna roll, when
things are too cold for me, I mean, if it's too cold, you're not going to taste it as much. You can't. The flavors are not going to come out as much because it's too cold.
I kind of did pick that up later on through drinking wine. Like they say, you should have white wine. It shouldn't be ice cold.
Right.
It should be not room temperature, but not icy cold.
Right.
Somewhere in between.
It needs to be cold, but not so much where you can't. You're right, and pick up the flavors of all of that. Yeah.
And that's with white wine, and that's what's happened here.
Yes.
So if I was to have any criticism of this place, which I'd be hard pressed to say anything negative, but I'm going to have to say that
I have one more.
Oh boy, I knew this was coming.
But it didn't.
What is it?
But it, besides the fact that they didn't have, the Ankimo and the, any of the kind of more interesting things, it didn't matter because I wasn't really eating that much of it. But the rice, rice was also. You had ordered a bowl of rice, and you gave me a little bit, And so when I did eat it, I'm like, again. It's a little too firm, a little too cold. I don't know. There was something about it. It was not
like it had been made a little too early, like earlier, and it had been sitting.
I don't know if it was that, or that it was just too firm. Well, I don't know. Something about it.
That to me is like when they make it a big batch of it ahead of time, and then it doesn't sit in the steamer where it stays plump and. Because
but sushi rice is a little different anyway because it is going to be a little bit firmer. But it's not.
But at the same time, like watching Jiro love sushi, it's an art.
But so that was the other thing. I didn't know if that was because I wasn't focused on it. And I mean, you had that bowl, and then you gave me some, and then it was just sitting there, maybe. But no, it was the texture that was a little off.
I hear you. My feeling is that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why. It only matters that when I received it as the customer, it wasn't there. And now that you said that, I agree.
Because you didn't eat the rice either.
I didn't eat the rice.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because the rice was bad in my mind, but it wasn't. Look, I've had great rice. We both had great rice. And the rice, when they have the rice done correctly, it's I mean, look, if you watch that Jiro, they make the apprentice that makes the rice has to do it for years.
Oh, I do remember vaguely.
They have to do it for years.
Even what I'm picturing in my mind is they're going like this with the nori.
Yeah, it's true. And in that show, I mean, they were the epitome of. That's why that show was so incredible because it showed what it is like to excel to that level. You're trying to achieve something on another level. And every apprentice, I mean, the apprentices start out by gently roasting each individual nori sheet.
Yes.
So if they're going to that level.
I don't recall the rice part, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, rice has to be right.
But they were saying in the show, in the movie, that you have to prove yourself on the making of the rice. And Jiro would go and they'd call him over and say, okay, I have this batch of rice. And if the rice wasn't precise, you had to make it again.
Yeah.
And you would do it until it was right in his mind.
Well, so in my mind, and I could be wrong.
No.
It's just my palate.
It could have been one time. It could have been this one time that it just didn't come off right. You could be absolutely correct. So I'm just saying, when you know something, like I knew about this fish, okay? You put it in your mouth and there's no question. No question. Okay? There's no question. What was? I'm just saying, okay, I'm joking around that when someone says it like that, it's from this show I saw, Cars and Coffee. And there was a lady who was what do they call it? An influencer who said it that way. She one that had the lipstick all over her face. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Anyways, I just thought it was funny. But when you're going to that level, and you're making sure the rice is a certain way, the nori is a certain way, the fish has to be cut a certain way. That's where you get great results. That's where you get the results that are different or better than other results. And I know for a fact that I've had amazing rice. I've had rice in the bowl where you don't need anything but the rice. You can eat just a bowl of rice.
Yeah. I'm not that. I mean, I know you're like that, but for me, I like rice, but it was definitely obvious to me.
Yeah.
I didn't particularly care for it. I thought it was too firm.
Yeah.
Not quite right. It just wasn't right. And it was, I mean, granted, you put it onto a separate
No,
plate.
don't make excuses.
I'm just trying to think, is it cold?
It could have just been the one time.
Yeah,
it could have been this one time.
But we didn't have rolls, so I would have to go back and have a roll and see what that texture is on those rolls.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. Now you made me have another thing that I need to try, and that's the benchmark. Rice. Give me a bowl of rice. No, you laugh, but I'm being 100% serious. I think
we're being really picky. But
no, don't stop that. Don't qualify it like that. Beyond the reality is that's what we like. That's what we do. That's our job. Our job is to weed the wheat from the chaff.
And also just let people know. This is what we've experienced. Maybe.
Yes, of course. Everyone's
maybe they like a firm rice. Cool.
Everybody's going to have a different experience. But
maybe they like extra cold.
No, maybe they do.
Tuna.
Maybe they do. But I'll say it like this. If it were desirable, if that's what everybody else wanted, then we'd go more places that had it like that. That's how we would know it. But what I'm saying is that there's obviously a reason why Jiro was so successful. The way he does things is what people want. Okay. So you could say, yeah, there's somebody out there that likes to eat dry rice from a bag. Then maybe that guy. Unfortunately, it's not popular. It's not a popular thing. If it were popular, then everybody would just be walking around with hands full of dry rice, just chewing away.
It wasn't that bad, but okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not saying about the rice here. I'm simply saying whatever it is in life, whatever is popular, what everybody gravitates to is what becomes a standard. You know what I mean? Like if you say, why do you think everybody's trying to copy McDonald's? They love McDonald's. It doesn't mean it's good, bad, or otherwise for you, but it does serve a purpose and it is good. It's not good for you. Don't get me wrong, but it is what it is. And it set the standard. And I'm saying that the standard here is obviously what we're talking about because it's across the board. If you go, and there's going to be levels. There's levels to everything, right? If you go to a top end like Nobu, I think I've even had good rice at Nobu.
Oh yeah.
The rice is plump.
I don't think I've ever had anything bad at Nobu, to be honest with you.
And I think it's amazing that you could say that because think about the size of that chain. Think about the size of the brigade there. And think about how they were able to repeat it in all the locations. You go to the desert.
I've only been to, let's see, 1, 2, 3.
It doesn't make a difference.
I've only been to
it doesn't make a difference how many. I'm saying to you, how many are there?
I don't know. I figure a lot.
I don't think they're like McDonald's. I think they're in Vegas. And what I'm saying though is of the 4, you're all the same to you, right?
Yeah.
So think about how hard that is. How hard that is to get people across the various, from Bahamas to Vegas to wherever you've been. Think about it, how hard it would be to get everyone on the same page consistently. Yeah. See, that's why McDonald's is what it is, because they have automated it to the nth power.
Yeah.
So that anybody can run it. But when it comes to this is not that. This is actually somebody's physical input that has to happen for that rice to be consistently across all the board, to get the cuts of fish to be a certain way, to get all that to work everywhere and every time. Okay. So Glass Box.
So
what an amazing,
maybe not the temperature, like I said, maybe not, but the actual fish itself, it was fantastic. The quality of it, the cut of it,
the way you treated it,
that was fantastic.
So in all fairness, I will have to go back now.
Absolutely.
And
try more things.
Yeah. Order more things. Maybe ask about if they can bring the ankimo and the octopus carpaccio. Get an answer for that. Because you know what? You gotta have those. You do. Because
I've never been anywhere where they have. Well, that's not true. Remember in Carlsbad, we went to a place where the guy, I asked for ankimo and he's like, no, he goes, but I can get it. And so he called me. He texted me and he's like, I've got ankimo.
Yeah,
but come and have some.
You know what's really funny? The first time I ever had ankimo was with Chris.
Yes,
we were in Alameda.
Yeah, and you introduced me to it.
I don't remember the name of the bar, but here's the thing: I've now had ankimo that I believe to have been either made well in advance.
Oh yeah.
Been pre-prepared by somebody else other than the restaurant, but then I've had ankimo that I have to believe was made on site. Okay, they're making the fragua. Fragua?
Yeah.
They're making it themselves.
It's a pate, so.
It is a pate, but they're making it themselves because I've had it to where, like I said, it's almost close to room temperature. Not that. It breaks apart. It's not. Sometimes,
creamy.
Sometimes it could be chalky.
Then it's old or it's not.
It comes from a package.
Yeah, it comes. it's frozen, comes from a package, who knows, whatever.
But I've had it to where it seems like it's
freaking
like
butter.
They cut it right out of the duck or whatever. It's like in this case the
monkfish liver.
The monkfish, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I've had it the various ways. So when I taste one that is so, okay, that's another thing. Let's talk about what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a taste of fish that tastes to me like the open ocean. Like for me, when I taste, I don't know what does a fish taste? Because I remember when I was a kid, and you had tuna. Okay, it was from a can, and it had this bitter, sour smell. That even now we're going to do it today. We're making a tuna today, and we're going to buy it out of a can, and we're going to make a celery, onion, whatever, make a sandwich. And that is the smell that I'm familiar with, which is,
really
older cooking, very fishy smell. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about a smell that doesn't have a smell.
No,
it tastes like salt water, like ocean water. It tastes like your best memory of a day on the Bahamian Ocean,
like with a creamy, buttery texture to it.
Yeah. So what is it? I mean, how do I impart that? How do I describe that? I don't know.
But if people like,
it's
just
like
picture if you have pate, or if you like pate, or you like a spread, something like that. That's what this is. It's a pate. It's a monkfish liver pate. It is fantastic.
I'm just talking about
if it's fresh and buttery, then it's fantastic. I've only had it 2 times. Where
like
it's that good.
No, I've
Alameda
had it.
And
I think I've had it a few more times than that. 3 or 4. I'm thinking
that it's really good.
I'm just saying. Last time we went to Alameda was before the children.
Okay.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Okay.
I've had it since other places like that. I don't recall where now, but it was like that. And when I'm talking about freshness of the fish, I'm talking about like I'm just remembering taking like the fatty or just the bluefin, the red one, the red tuna,
Toro,
and stick it in your mouth, and it feels like what does it feel like a combination of Jell-O? Like, no, I'm serious. You know, Jell-O is kind of silky smooth.
Yeah,
it kind of is on something like that, but then it's meaty too. A meaty Jell-O.
That's such a strange way.
It sounds horrible. Yeah. Okay, and then the flavor is slightly salty, and the texture on your tongue is silky, like it's silk. And then as you're chewing, it's revealing.
It's silky. It's
this
buttery.
this creaminess, and the texture as you're masticating it, it's getting better and better. And then you swallow it down. You're like, oh, I feel so satiated. But at the same time, you feel healthy. Like you feel.
I don't even think about that, but okay. Yeah,
I mean,
true.
no, I'm just thinking about you feel like when you eat a cheeseburger, you feel like you eat this lovely, light, almost living thing, and you're like, I get your energy. I feel the energy from you. I don't feel weighed down. I feel satiated. It doesn't feel like I've just put on 10 pounds. You know what I mean? It's not like I eat a whole cheesecake. It's like, I don't even know. It's if you don't like sushi, then I'm just wasted the last 3 minutes of your time. But I tell you, if you like fish, you know what I'm talking about.
If you don't like sushi, is it because you really haven't had good sushi? Because I really believe that, like where people, they think that they hate sushi. They think
Who does?
People that say, I don't like sushi. I don't like sushi. I don't know that you've tried the, good sushi, because I can't imagine.
Look, I think some people just like, we knew a person that said they hated cheese. Okay. They had it when they were 8 and they're now 50 and they don't like cheese. I think that what happens is, like anything in life, you have one bad experience. Mm-hmm. Okay, you don't like peanut butter, because when I was 4, I used to have to eat peanut butter all the time, and I hated peanut butter. If you have one bad experience and you're just stubborn, I think that you don't ever give it another try. You don't give anything a try. Mm-hmm. But some people are adventurous, and they are willing to try, something here, there, otherwise. If you have that kind of adventure in you, there is a sushi out there for you. Mm-hmm. Okay. There is somebody out there doing fish magic. Okay.
For sure.
Absolutely. And then anything. Like I just heard about this spot, and this is off subject, but heard this spot called Tanner's Burgers in Oceanside.
Oh, that's a new joint.
I'm so looking forward to trying it because if the guy has 3 Michelin stars.
3?
I think it was 3.
Oh, wow.
Or has worked at 3 Michelin star restaurants.
Oh.
And what do you mean?
The difference. That's what I'm like, okay.
Well, I think the Michelin stars are applied to the restaurant, not the chef. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but this guy, these 2 people at Tanner's Burgers in Oceanside, this guy is supposed to be putting together, I'm expecting a lot. Let's say it that way. I'm expecting that you've sourced out incredible meat and you make your own buns and you are doing something different with the sauce and the cheese. You've chosen the proper cheese. You might be making,
gotta be right.
You might be making your own cheese for all I know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting
making their own ketchup and mustard.
You're pickling your own pickles. You're dialing in the flavor to match your vision, whatever that is. You're not just buying pickles off the shelf. You know, you're not going down to the Restaurant Depot or to Costco and picking up a big jar of pickles and hoping they work. You're dialing the pickle flavor into the burger that you're trying to offer. That's what I'm expecting. And if it's shy of that, God, it's going to be a miserable.
Oh, it looks like a smash burger.
Okay, but see, smash burger doesn't mean like that's a type of burger. It's not a brand. But people have made it a brand. Like smash burger, where do you go? Smash burger. But it's literally you're instead of patting the patty, you're just smashing it with a pan. It's meat. It's ground beef. It's gonna, it has a different sear on it. Because it's so thin, it's gonna have a lot of Maillard. It's gonna be crispy and it's gonna be delicious.
Looks like the Friendly.
But here's the thing. When we used to go to Umami Burger back in LA in Santa Monica, I still think about it because they have a mushroom aioli, and they put it on a very delicious, what is it called? A brioche bun, toasted and whatever, I'm expecting quite a bit here. Okay. So on the back to the glass door, let's close them out. Glass box. Sorry. Glass box and the Sky Deck. I want to say to you, I will be seeing you soon. I look forward to my visit. I'm expecting a lot. Okay? Because you've impressed me. I look to spend many, many times, occasions there. Going from shop to shop. I want to spend all my money there. So look out for us. We're coming. Anyways, go to the Glass Box. Go see Joel. Tell me,
the other chefs. I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, of course. I'm just saying
good.
our only experience so far is with Joel, and Joel represented the company well. Okay,
yes.
And we're going to have probably many occasions there, and as well Cato in Encinitas because I'm definitely want to try that. I think it's Kaito, and I want to go check them out. But if you haven't been, if you love sushi like the way we do, and you want to have some great, I'll speak for it. I'll speak for the sashimi.
Okay.
And I had to, again, Joel, please warm that fish a little bit. I don't know how you're going to do it. You're not going to stick it in the micro. I don't know what the plan is.
For what?
For the spicy tuna roll?
Nothing. Just, I would say take it out and leave it there for a few
but if it's on the fly, like you're making it for me, I'm not going to wait 30 minutes for the fish to cool.
No, I didn't say 30. Just leave it out for 5 minutes. That's it.
I think it takes longer. I'm just saying, you make a roll, it has to penetrate, the heat has to penetrate the roll. I don't know how it's going to, I haven't thought about it, but I'm just saying.
Next time you go, just say, hey, I'm going to want a spicy tuna.
In about 20 minutes.
Yeah. Can you just pull that out for me?
Could you do me a favor? Get a piece of parchment. Spread out a thin layer of the spicy tuna that you're going to use for the roll.
Yeah.
And then for 20 minutes, let it sit there and then make it.
After my sashimi, then make that. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So look, thank you for listening. If you like what you hear, I know you do. I know you like what you hear. Okay? Maybe I'm being a little confident. Maybe I'm being a little cocky here. Yeah. But if you like what you hear, please like and subscribe. It helps out the show. We need your help. And you know what? Go to grubthusiast.com. Take a look at some of the posts. Review us. Tell us how we're doing. Go to YouTube. Subscribe. Check us out. Anyways, thanks again. We really love what we do. We want to continue doing it. Have a great day.